Well, I learned the hard way. I always live by the rule, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But this time I didn't listen to my own advice. Every 6 months or so over the last 15 years, I would eat popcorn in a movie theater, and a bit of the kernel would get caught in the back of my teeth. When I forced it out with my tongue, it would end up irritating the gum around the wisdom tooth, and it would erupt. My gum would swell up, and I'd end up getting a chest cold from all the extra saliva that dripped down in my sleep. Like I said, this happened every 6 months or so, but then the tooth would settle down, the gum would go back to normal, and my cold would go away. But last April I started going to a new dentist. He said my old dentist from when I was 20 should be taken to the woodshed for not telling me to get rid of that tooth at the time. No one ever said it needed to come out except this doctor. So this December I made an appointment to have it taken out. I actually had the top one taken out too, and I met the oral surgeon for the first time that day. Very nice man who loved rock and roll and the Yankees. He gave me a local anesthetic to kill the pain in my mouth before he started working on ripping the teeth out. I've had Novocaine before, but usually go without it. I could have used the gas to knock me out, but I like to be awake to make sure everything is done right. He comes back after 10 minutes and says, "You know that numb feeling in your tongue and lips? Well, there's a possibility that you'll have that the rest of your life." What? Then he showed me the x-ray. It seems that when you're younger, like 20, and your wisdom tooth grows in, it's small and sits near the top of the gum. And as you get older, it grows down and eventually goes deep into the gum until it nearly touches the nerve. That connects to the left side of your lips. So while extracting the tooth, they might cut the nerve by accident with the bottom of the tooth. Scary but rare. He said he would be careful. So the one tooth comes out alright with some elbow grease, but the bottom one is in there deep. I have a clamp keeping my mouth wide open. I have the hygienist with her hand in my mouth using the vacuum in the back of my throat. I have the oral surgeon with his hand in my mouth, first with a mirror and pliers, and then with a drill to cut my tooth in half, because he has to pull this one out in pieces. While the two hands, the vacuum, the clamp, and the drill are taking over every inch of my mouth, I can't breathe out of my nose. I don't know why, but I haven't for years. And now I'm starting to get panicky from the long time drilling and the shortness of my breath. Finally, I tap out like in wrestling, and the dentist backs off. He says, "Do you have apnea?" I said, "Maybe." Why? "Because I could hear you struggling to breathe." "Wow, and you kept going anyway." Well, I just literally needed a breather. Finally, he went back in and drilled my tooth into gravel, and then started pulling it out with tweezers and a vacuum. He tried to get the last root, which was right on top of the nerve, but it wouldn't come out. I didn't want a chance severing the nerve. I shoved some gauze in my mouth, agree not to spit because clots have to form, and then go to the drugstore to get some Vicodin for the pain later. I take the Vicodin all weekend. It was my first time taking painkillers, and I have to say they work great, except for the fact that I was having slight hallucinations. But what really amazed me was that my tongue was still as numb as when I was having the surgery. This Vicodin is strong stuff. Then I went back to work on Monday and didn't take any more Vicodin. Only bad thing was that numb feeling continued. By Tuesday I got nerves, and by Wednesday I was really scared. If Vicodin didn't cause my tongue to be numb, something happened to the nerve. I called my regular dentist, and he assured me that this happens from time to time, but that nerve damage takes longer to heal than skin. If skin heals in 3 days, nerves sometimes heal 1 millimeter per day. If your tongue is like 4 inches long, that means 100 days or over 3 months. The nerve attached to the lips was fine. That was the one they were scared of, because that little hair-like string was right under the tooth, and when they tried to pull out the root, that was the nerve they felt would be severed. But the one to the tongue was probably bruised by the needle when they gave me the Novocaine. 90% of the time, all the feeling comes back, so there was no need to worry. I go see the oral surgeon the next night to see what he thinks. He prods my tongue with a Q-tip. On one side soft and fuzzy, and on the other side broken off, slightly sharp stick. I can't feel anything from the middle to the left of my tongue, but feel just fine on the right side. Well, that makes sense because the right side is a different nerve. I get the feeling I'm not going to be one of the lucky 90%. He says, "You know why this happened to you? Because you're a nice guy. Bad guys get shot 8 times and they walk around fine." Okay, so if I was a bad guy, I'd be able to feel hot soup and not chew on my tongue like steak and be able to pronounce words without first thinking about them. He said that people eventually get used to that feeling and learn to eat around that side of the tongue. Well, I'm still not happy about this. I would not have gone for this if I knew this was a possibility. Apparently other people knew that and told me after. I wish someone had informed me earlier. Yesterday was 1 month, and I have 69 days to go. But in the meantime, I'm trying to work around the tongue. The front has some kind of sensation, like the sensation you get when you burn it on pizza, but not really pain. Not feeling. I feel the teeth on my tongue, but I think that's my teeth feeling the tongue and not the tongue feeling the teeth. I can tell you right now, I'm not having the other 2 teeth taken out. So long from the predator.